Alright, hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode to the Max Outdoors. Well, here we are. We finally have officially started our deer hunting vacation. As you can see right here, I've got my compound bow. I'm out and I'm ready to go. It is Friday, November the 22nd, and I haven't hunted hardly much at all this year. Just had a bunch of other obligations I had to take care of. That's just the way it rolled. So as you can see here in the surrounding here, we got ourselves a little bit of snow. It's in the mid-low 30s right now. It's about 32, 33 degrees. It is currently 1:30 p.m. We've got ourselves settled down here on the edge of a thicket. I missed the peak of the rut, without a doubt. I missed a full-blown peak of the rut. I wasn't in the woods. And the old saying hold true, can't kill them if you're not there. Well, I wasn't there, so I didn't kill anything during the peak. Probably the first one I've missed in a long time, but it's just the way it went this year. So we're going to sit in here for the evening as long as we can. Supposedly around 3:30, 4 o'clock. We're supposed to have some rain set in. The temperature's supposed to warm back up. I can tell you that up on the ridges behind me, I can hear the wind absolutely ripping. And there's no snow left in those trees up there, so there's enough wind to keep all that nonsense down. I don't know. We're going to sit in here for the evening. This is a new location for me this year on my little piece of property that you see me do my food plots and what other on. This is I don't really hunt this corner a whole bunch. I really don't know why, but the scrape activity through here is just phenomenal. I actually just come and set this stand yesterday afternoon. We're overlooking a road right here in front of us. I'll spin you around. That's a right of way. It comes up here, and then there's a well road through here. It's not used. It's not a used well road by any means, but they've just absolutely got it annihilated with scrapes. So we'll see. I'm not going to be too picky this afternoon. I'm going to say if it's got more than 2 points, it's going down. I'm trying not to shoot a spike, but hey, you never know. Gun season starts in 2 days. Yeah, we got Saturday, Sunday, Monday, so technically 3 days. Gun season starts here in West Virginia. I've not filled a bow tag yet this year, so I need to get my ass in gear. I'll bring you back if any action. All right, thank goodness for this new view hunting blind here that we had put up already. This blind has been sitting here since mid-September, and it's sitting on an Antler King food plot. Now, it has only been about just shy of 2 hours since I last talked to you there in the tree stand, and I tell you, sorry for the camera view here, but I hope that comes out on camera. It is half rain and half snow, and it is sideways. It's up and down. This weather can't make its mind up, and I don't have waterproof clothing on. I have water resistant clothing on, and it was beading up at first, and I could brush it off, but it started to soak in a little bit, and I could feel the damp coming through it. So thank God I had this blind put up on this Antler King food plot here in front of me. I don't know that we're going to see any deer this evening, but we're going to give it, I don't know, just shy of 2 hours. We got another 2 hours left. It is nasty. It just can't make its mind up. I mean, it's snowing snowflakes this big, and then it'll rain the next minute. The only thing I do wish is I wish I would have brought a chair and put a chair in here when I brought the blind up. But I didn't really have any intentions on hunting out of it this early, to be honest with you. I was kind of saving it for later in deer season there when the bucks kind of turn back on some feed. While we're talking about that, this Antler King food plot here that we're looking out over, It's the one that I planted here this summer. It is a major drought here in West Virginia. And honestly, what that Antler King food plot did with no rain for a 3.5, 4 month severe drought is way beyond my expectations. I will plant it again and again and again. Did a tremendous job. Of course, the deer mowed it down. Like I said, it didn't grow. It didn't grow as lush and full as I thought it should have, but we also were in a severe drought for 4 months, so not bashing on Antler King, but trying to warm myself back up here a little bit. It's the first big cold snap of the year ago. Started making me feel like a southerner out here. I was getting used to them 60s and 70s. I'm getting weak in my old age, so stay tuned. We'll see what it'll bring. Up there flopping, boys. Well, got her done right there. I told you it had to be a 2-point. It's a busted up buck, but nevertheless, I got it done. All right, so here's the buck. Wasn't really much of a track job. Give you a little look here. I thought he was broke up. He's not. He had something happen to him there in velvet. He's got a little, well, he's broke off right there. What I thought was a base was, he broke off right there. So all in all, I'm pretty happy. As you can see there where he come up over the hill right here, he wasn't going very far. It honestly isn't 60 yards. Isn't 60 yards from, that was a 25-yard shot. I'll give you a little better in-depth review there at the house. This weather is absolute shit. It's raining. I filled my archery tag. I did not fill an archery tag last year. I'm happy. I know it's not the biggest buck on the property. I know that. You look here at that deer. I'm gonna call that a decent mature deer. I know most people say you should have let it go, but I've had a buck on camera for 2 years now that's only had half a rack. I hope this is him. So I decided to take him. I know he's not a 5.5, 6-year-old buck. I fully get it. It's not what I'm after. This is West Virginia. I do it because I enjoy all this stuff out here, and I do it because I enjoy hunting, and couldn't ask for a more miserable day, to be honest with you. But the old Rec 4 blade, that FX4 Rec broadhead, and that antique Bowtech Assassin of mine, and that new View 270-degree blind just made it happen. So we'll pick back up here at the house. All right, everybody, we've made it home. We've got this deer here skinned down. The only thing I haven't done is taken the inner loins out of it, which we will get right on here just as soon as we get this video taken care of. I have about a 25 to 26 minute foiler ride out of there, so that's why I kind of cut it short there when we walked up to this deer down here on the ground. And I got a little more I want to say about this deer, so I figured I'd do this little short clip here. So in the season, a buck season of 2021, Max hit a deer with a 350 Legend at about 25-ish yards, and it was a yearling 4-point at that time. The deer was actually straight on. It was straight on to Max. I didn't know that it was straight on. I thought Max had a good enough shot at it, but he ended up running up the right side of this deer real high, long ways in a deer. We never did recover that deer. And a funny story is, so the season of 22, 23, and this season here, I have had pictures of a half rack buck right here, like you see, in that same general area, and he has just a little bit of a hitch in his giddy up, because it just on the top of the shoulder blade right here. I'm not gonna turn around because there's a bunch of blood on this side too, but just on top of the shoulder blade here is a little bit of deformation where he hit that deer. So in the beginning of the video, I said I wasn't going to shoot a spike, I'd shoot a 2-point. And the reason I said that is because I knew this half rack 2-point was running around, and I really wanted to try to get after him if I could. Yeah, I know it cost me one of my 2 buck tags for the state, but I'm fine with it. It means something to me to take a deer that you and I know he's not a monster, and if he would have been good at this point, he probably would have been a 16-inch 8-point, nothing to write home about, but a good buck for me. I just felt something a little special about that. So that's why I said 2-point there in the beginning of the video. I don't know if anybody caught that or not, but I did. I do want to say, I shot this thing with a Rec 4 blade. This is at FX4, and looking back at the video, there was a freaking raindrop or snow pellet right in the center of my little GoPro lens, and that deer walks through that blur in the camera, and I shoot just as you come out of there. I hit the deer. Let me get it around here without getting in trouble. I hit the deer. This is the exit wound side, but I hit the deer just in the meat of the shoulder on the left side of the deer, and it exited on the right side of the deer. I mean, there's 2 fingers going in right there. I'm shooting a 62 pounds out of a 2012 Bowtech Assassin. So I'm not shooting a ton of poundage. I'm not shooting a high-end bow, but I will say these Rec broadheads right here, anybody looking for a fixed broadhead, that deer honestly only went about 80 yards. I watched the deer go down and kick. I didn't flip the camera around. You hear me say it in the video, and then I spun the camera around, but he was already expired at that point. But that deer honestly run 60 to 80 yards and piled up. It was a good double lung shot, top of the heart. I mean, I did exactly what I'm supposed to do. I'm happy, and I'm happy to put an ending to that buck. I know he's not a giant by no means. You can see him down there on the ground. I know he's not a giant, but I mean, this makes me tickle pink to take a deer that we'd had an opportunity at. And there again, I didn't get mad at Max when he shot. I honestly thought he had a good frontal shot at that deer. The deer spun. The deer was on to us at that time when he shot it. I can remember it like it was yesterday. We had crested a knoll. That deer was coming towards us as we were coming towards it. We dropped down. He took the shot, and it looked like a good shot. I seen the shoulder rip back. I thought it was a good shot. Well, it was just too far outboard on the deer, and it just took the top of his shoulder off. So, but anyways, put an ending to this video, an ending to this story about this deer. That's something that him and I, still talk about from time to time is, hey, you remember that deer? Because that was one of the first ARs that him and I built together, like fully built together, him and I both. And it meant something to us, and unfortunately, he's not home right now. He's at baseball practice, believe it or not, but we'll get some good memories and some good kicks out of this deer tomorrow when we go to, cut it up and do what we want to do to it. So, this is what hunting is about for me. I don't give a shit that it's a little deer, and I don't give a shit that I wasted a tag on it. I'm happy as hell with it. Max and I have memories because he shot this deer way before I did. So I appreciate you watching To the Max Outdoors.